Welcome to Business Prowess with Raphael and Juanita. Our show will bring you the best insights, ideas, and inspiration from successful entrepreneurs and CEOs in the business world. We'll talk to experts and business leaders. Don't miss out on the opportunity to learn from the best and stay ahead of the game. Sifu Raphael is the founder of 5 unique shows. He's a fitness professional, solutions expert, executive coach, and head instructor at Max Martial Arts and Fitness in New York. Juanita Cap is a public speaker who was in the ministry for 15 years. She has extensive knowledge of various topics such as leadership and communication, and has emceed many executive and academic events. Juanita is the founder of 2 unique shows. Her life motto is never give up.
Juanita, how are you?
How are you?
I'm well, Sifu. How are you today?
Exceptional, getting better every day.
That's wonderful. Yay!
So we are
There you go.
we're supposed to be having a guest, and he was going to talk about
Yes.
funnels, and I'm wondering if he got lost in a funnel, or is that a tunnel?
Most probably he might pop in, in between the session. We'll see. We'll keep the ball rolling.
Absolutely. Well, we know how to do that because we can talk forever and ever. So prior to
That's
us
true.
coming live, we were talking about what we're doing and how we are planning already our tomorrows, if you will. We already have plans for 2024. We have things in the works that you're doing, things that I'm doing. And I think that also it's creating a funnel for your success, right? And a lot of people think a funnel is just an internet funnel, but you can create a funnel outside of the internet. You can create a funnel in your business and how you do things, right?
That's it. Absolutely. I think, creating those type of funnels do take time. It takes a level of experience because, building up those relationships, getting those systems in place. I like to call my systems rollout schedules because it's like a waterfall, like a funnel would flow. So my rollout schedules have been carefully researched and placed together, woven together as time has gone on. But the wonderful thing is we live in a digital world where we can share that which we have learned, and it can help others to scale faster and to go to get to those milestones faster because they have connectedness 24/7. It's so amazing how we are connected globally and how we can learn from each other. Absolutely.
Yeah. When we consider all of the things that we can do.
Yeah.
So I'm sending another email to our guest. We'll see if he shows up. But whether he shows up or not, it's one of the things that we need to consider in business. Every aspect of how to run a business is critical, right? It's the people that we're serving that's the most important. And a lot of people forget that. And they think money, 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 but they're not concerned about the message that they're sending out. I believe that we need, as business owners, to worry about the customer first and make sure we're giving them what they want, not what we want. I mean, we know what we want, but we need to find out what they want, and then we need to deliver that to them, right?
True. It all also starts for me to add on to that, and I agree 100%. It starts with, your employees, your team. If you really take that personal interest in them, if you really invest in them as human beings before seeing them as, people on the team, really have that sit down and know, are their children in college? Are they married or not married? Do they have maybe, parents that live near you or people in your community that you know? When we work with them and we build that strong foundation and we take that lovely energy that's created in the business now over to our customer service, when we do what we can and we go the extra mile for our customers, we are inevitably going to get what we want. And it's a
Mm-hmm.
pleasant experience for everyone. And I think that's very, very important. That's the difference between businesses that excel and businesses that kind of stagnate from time to time. It's all about starting with that foundation. If the foundation is strong, then you can build and build. You can build up and you can build out. And the sky is really the limit.
Mm. So finding out about their families, what is it that I think that's a very critical and important part, to find out about your employees, so you can
Yes.
learn why they even work for you. What's their
Mm-hmm.
purpose? Because if you can help
Yeah.
fulfill their purpose, they will help you fulfill yours, right?
True, true. They will feel uplifted. They will feel edified. They will feel like they are fulfilling their dreams. And once again, that it just brings that vibe and that atmosphere in the office that people they're excited to start with a project. They want to let the creative juices flow because they know they're not just a number. They're not just a table. They are someone that is valued. Their opinion has weight. They have that experience. They have that expertise, and it is being put to good use. I think where
Mm.
we sometimes let the balls drop is when we don't value and also vocalize the value that we have in people. It takes none of our energy just to go to someone's office and say, "Great job on that project. We are really impressed. Thank you. You made our day." And that really sets the tone for the rest of the year, especially because we're going into the end of the year now. Let's not forget to do that because it's been a long year. People have had things that they faced. Never forget to reinforce them and show them that you appreciate them. That is absolutely important.
I totally agree with that. But the other thing, the on the flip side of that, I also
Yeah.
have to say that sometimes when people fail, we
Yeah.
need to let them know that we have their back. That, hey, you know what? That project
Yes.
didn't go well. Can we
Yeah.
put our heads together? Can we figure out
Mhm.
how we can come ahead of it? So instead of
Yes.
blaming, I think we should not be blaming. I think we should be figuring out what went wrong together.
Yeah.
Because if we blame, nobody likes to be blamed. Nobody, even if they blame themselves, you got to say, hey, it wasn't just you. This
Mm-hmm.
happened, this because of this. And instead of dwelling on the negativity, let's see how we can make this as an opportunity. So take
Mm-hmm.
negativity and create an opportunity out of it. And
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
many failures have been turned by the right people into
Yeah.
great opportunities. I'm thinking of that company Febreze.
Absolutely.
It's that
Mm-hmm.
Febreze is a byproduct of a bigger company, but that product,
Yeah.
Febreze, was created by accident.
Oh,
It w- it
lovely.
w- it Here's the story that I'm going to give you a quick glimpse at it. Imagine this chemist. He's working with these chemicals, but he's a smoker,
Yeah.
right? And he starts working with these chemicals that they put together, and they're trying to
Oh,
create something. And he starts going home, and his wife is like, "Did you give up smoking?" He's like, "No, I smoke every day." She's like, "I
yeah.
don't smell it on you." He goes, "Oh, that's weird." So he didn't think anything of it. But she kept
Yeah.
saying, "You did quit. You quit. I know you quit." He's like, "No, I just smoked before." And then he goes, "Wait a minute. It's the chemicals that I'm working with. They took away, they
Oh.
absorbed the smell of cigarettes on me because I'm touching it. I'm even though I have gloves on, it's being sprayed, all
Yeah.
this stuff. So he realized that the chemicals that he was working with were not harmful to a person. That was number one. Second, they took away the
Ah.
smell. So then he went and he brought it to his superiors, and they were like, "Oh, so they tried it with everything. They tried it with fish. They tried it with everything. You know, when you work with fish, you're going to smell
Yeah.
fishy. But
Oh,
after a while, they're like, wow, you just touched that fish. You even put it on your clothes and we sprayed the clothes and you don't smell like fish. Oh my gosh. So that's how
wow.
Febreze was born. And in the beginning, people didn't believe it because it was a clear chemical. It looked like water. It had no smell to it.
Mm-hmm.
So people
Oh,
didn't believe that this product
yeah,
took away
would
the
work.
smells. So they tried
Oh,
it and all different things, and people were loving it, but they couldn't sell it. So this is where
oh.
innovation meets
Mm-hmm.
technology, if you will. So
Yeah,
they said, wow, they almost shelved it. They almost put it on the back burner and they were going to get rid of it. And then somebody said, hey, what if we
yeah.
made this
Mm-hmm.
product smell fresh? Because people like fresh.
Oh,
And if we tell them it's
yeah.
fresh and then they smell something like a fresh scent, like mint or something like that, then
Mm-hmm.
they'll believe it. Because the problem they
Mm-hmm.
had is people didn't believe it because when they sprayed it, they didn't smell anything
Smell
and
anything.
it didn't see anything. So they thought it doesn't work.
Oh.
But now the psychology went into if they think it works, which it actually does
Mm-hmm.
work, then
Yeah.
start buying it. And that's how Febreze truly, and it had a different name, by the way. So somebody
Oh.
came up with the name Febreze, and now they do different smells, different aromas,
Oh.
and it's all about tricking the mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
business sometimes is about tricking the mind. Some people don't believe that something is good until their mind is tricked. So there's
Changed.
a lesson right there.
True.
We
Yeah.
tell children, take this medicine, it's going to make you feel good, but it tastes terrible. And the kids want to like, "Bleh,"
Some
they're
of
going to
them
almost
do.
throw up, right? So what did they do with medicine? They started putting flavor into it. So now
Flavors.
it's cherry
Toffee.
flavor. Yeah,
Cherry.
right. So, right. It's tricking the mind.
It's tricking the mind. I thought of something as you were explaining that, and that's brilliant, by the way. I think that's amazing that happened. Two things came to mind. The first thing was, when I was a real estate agent many moons ago, we always used to say there's three things that's important when you list a property, or when you're looking for someone for a property, and that's location, location, location. And when we were talking about the teams, and also staring at a failure if a goal wasn't reached, I believe that the three most important things for a team like that is support, support, support. But
Mm.
when you were speaking about Fabrice, I thought about something. I've been watching, my son wanted to watch a story, a production on Netflix called Only Murders in the Building. And
Mm.
I'll work and I'll listen in to make sure that it's age appropriate, because he loves to solve these murders and these mysteries. As it goes along, he has these theories, which I think is good for his development.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, there is a podcaster on there, and she says, "Embrace the mess, because that's where the good stuff lives."
Mm.
And immediately I stopped working and I told my son to pause the television. I said, "We are going to have a talk about what that phrase means." I said, that is changing our minds to say, if something goes wrong, look for the lesson in that failure, or look for the
Mm.
lesson in that obstacle, because embracing it helps you to actually get through it. The more you just give over and you relax, and you just say, okay, well, this happened now, let's see what we can do, let's make the best of it. That's when we have those breakthroughs. And there they had the Febreze. It was an accident and nobody wanted to buy it, to purchase it, but they embraced the mess and I said, let's learn the lesson here. What's the lesson? Let's work with the psychology of what we are doing here. And by just adding those, I don't know if it's colorant or flavorant that they added, but here they've got a product today. So I believe in embracing the mess, Sifu, in a team, in a personal obstacle. And thank you for sharing that with me. I'm going to share that with my son later today as an example of how a mistake can be a profitable venture.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's very interesting when we consider what we perceive, right? Because in
Yeah.
business, as a business person, if you're dealing with clients and you don't show up
Mhm.
the way they expect you to show up,
Ooh.
their perception is going to be different. The words you
Mhm.
use is going to help
Yeah.
guide them. So, for example, if somebody came, one of my businesses is martial arts, and if somebody came to my martial arts studio and I was
Yeah.
wearing a bathing suit and flip flops and a welding mask,
Yeah.
they're going to go, "What on earth?" They would run out, right? So
Yeah.
when they come in, if I dress like this at a martial arts studio, they're going to go,
Yeah.
"Where's the instructor?" So
Mhm.
I kind of have to fit the role that they're looking for, right?
Yes.
So I
That's
have to
it.
dress the part, even though
Mhm.
I don't teach martial arts. People think I teach martial arts. They think I teach them
Yeah.
how to defend themselves. They think I teach them how to fight,
Yeah.
but I'm really teaching them how to be a better human being.
How
So
to
it doesn't
live.
matter what outfit I'm wearing. The one I
True.
should be wearing is like a psychologist one because I'm helping people answer their own questions,
That's
right?
what you're actually doing.
That's what I'm actually doing. But I use martial arts as a tool to empower
Yeah.
them as a human being. So martial arts,
Mm.
yes, I do teach them how to defend themselves. I do teach them how to kick and punch and throw and roll and all these good things. And I do teach weapons, but I'm teaching them how to develop as a whole person. So I
Mhm.
don't
Mhm.
teach
Oh,
martial
yes.
arts when in my mind I don't
Mm.
teach martial arts. That's a
Mhm.
tool.
Mhm.
That's a tool that I'm
Yes.
using to
That's
empower
it.
them to be a human being that cares, that has compassion,
Mm.
and that's looking
Yeah.
out for themselves and their fellow humans.
True.
One of the
True.
things you talked about real estate, and you
Yeah.
talked about 3 rules that a real estate agent has to live by. I'm going to give
Mhm.
you another necessity, a fourth one. And
Mhm.
most real estate people don't realize that this one can save their life.
Yeah.
Awareness. Awareness.
Mhm.
Because
Oh,
you
yes.
need,
Danger.
you know, think about this. You go into a home, you as a young lady. I know you're a martial artist, so you can defend yourself. But let's say you had no martial arts experience, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And you
Yes.
walk in and you've never even hit anything, right?
Mhm.
You have really nice nails, really high heel shoes, you got a nice dress
Yeah.
on, and you're there to present, you have your portfolio, and here's a flyer,
Yeah.
and let me show you the house. And you take this one client, first you drive them in your car, right?
Mhm.
Take them to a location. Sometimes these locations are
Is it
empty
it?
for the most part.
Oh, yes.
They're empty.
Mhm.
And now you're taking
Yeah.
them through the house. And they say, well, let me show you the bedrooms. Great. Let me show you the bathrooms. Let me show you the kitchen, the backyard. Let me show you the basement. Whoa.
Yeah.
Did you just
Oh,
say I'm going to show you
basement.
the basement where you can hurt me? How about
Yeah. True.
before you enter any room, you stand outside
Mhm.
of the room and you go, won't
Mhm.
you enter
They
this
go.
room and
Mm.
take a look? And the bathroom's right there. Take a look and come back. Or the better way to say it, because we know we want to sell that home,
Mhm.
do we have other people there? Do we do it at an open house? Maybe better. So do we take
Mm.
an individual? Do we take a man and a woman? But even then, what
Mhm.
if they're in
Team.
cohorts with one another and they're both going to kidnap you or they're both going to hurt you?
Oh,
So before you show a
yeah.
room, do a little background on them. Who are they? Where they live?
Yes.
Know their address. Let people know in your office when you're going to go show somebody a place.
Mhm.
who's going, who you're showing. Take pictures of them.
Yes.
Hey, by the way, this is,
Mm-hmm.
I want to take a picture of you so that I have you in my file. And if they don't want their picture, then don't take them. The money's not worth your life. So that's when
Yeah.
the awareness, right? Don't go showing people the
Mm-hmm.
basement. They can walk by
No,
themselves,
please,
right?
guys. Yes.
If they have a question about the
Please.
basement, come back to the kitchen. Make sure you're near a knife in
Yes.
case you need to use it, right?
Pots and pans. See, for I agree. I do agree with you. When you spoke about the dressing in your uniform at the at your dojo, at your studio, I thought about the fact that it would be very difficult to do those forms that you showed me in New York in flippers. I can just imagine how we would fall over, and it would be fun. Maybe we should try that and make a funny video. But it's true what you're saying. If you don't have a martial arts background, at least, like Sifu said, be aware and think of scenarios that can put you in danger and avoid them. Because if you're a martial artist, you know how to use different things as weapons. I mean, those high heels can become a stabbing item very quickly if you have self-defense training. But if you don't, do what Sifu has instructed here, and makes sure that you're safe. It's a very, very dangerous profession. That's the truth. And I think we should really carry that through into other areas of our lives as well. And you and I, Sifu, we spoke about being present in the moment earlier today before we started. It all starts, if you want to be aware of what you are busy doing and of what you are working towards, be present in the moment. I think what the problem is out there today is there's so many things happening all at once. There's so many moving parts, and martial arts helps with this. And I strongly suggest that if you're in the audience and you've wanted to do martial arts before, try it out, because it really helps you to be present in the moment, and that's going to carry through to other areas of your life as well. So let's be present, guys. Let's enjoy the moment. We know we're working towards the future, but what we do in this moment is in actual fact building the future for us. Don't just overthink what's coming next. Be prepared, have a plan, of course, always have a goal, but be present in the moment when you are busy with something, because that raises your awareness. Yes.
Without a doubt. One of the things that I'm planning for January is I'm doing
Yeah.
6 weeks on, 4 weeks off, 6 weeks on, 6 weeks off. I mean, 6 weeks on, 4 weeks off, back to back to back to back. And I'm going to do that for the whole year. And it's going to be on women's self-defense. It's going to be once a week, 45-minute class.
Awesome.
But here's the thing. It's going to be situational. So I'm going to teach real estate agents how to enter a home, what to do.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to teach about habits, how your habits can be detrimental to your health or how they can be helpful to your health. And that's all about self-defense. Also, what you can use to defend yourself. Not
Oh,
only can
very
this pen
dangerous.
sign a contract, but I can also poke you in the neck.
Yep.
I can
Or
poke you
wear
in
a
the
big
eye. I can
ring.
hit you in the ear. So
Yeah.
so when we learn how to use the most powerful tool in the world, in many ways, then we're more equipped. Can you imagine a mom walking somewhere,
Yeah.
getting into their car, and somebody comes and tries to take their child, or somebody takes the mom and leaves the child? Or they get in their car and they go, "Oh, I forgot something," and they leave their child in the
Oh,
back. They leave the car running, and then they run
oh,
in the house to get something, run
no,
back, and the
no.
car's gone, and so is their
Oh,
child,
my
right? So
never.
it's all the thinking that we have to get into. So self-defense is more about awareness,
Yeah.
the ability to do something fast and quick. I'm not going to teach women how to fight because they're not going to spend the time, right? Everybody's like, "Oh, I would want," but you remember, when you want something badly enough, you have to put the work in.
True.
That's where
Thousands
people
of hours. Yeah.
miss the point.
Yeah.
So if I can teach them for 45 minutes, six
Yes.
times, and then give them a little break because they have kids, they have whatever, but then come back and do a different, not the same lessons, different. And every 6 weeks is going to be different. And why is that important to us as individuals? Because things change. There's evolution
The
in the way we think. We get older. How do we move? Are we able to move the
yes.
same way that we did 10 years ago? If not, why not?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Why not? Why not, guys? That's a reminder. And I was thinking, just as you said the word movement and move, I thought to myself, the key thing for me in self-defense, Sifu, is don't go into shock and freeze. That's the worst thing you can do. You move out of the way, or you even go forward, because if you go forward, the attacker suddenly he feels like he's the prey, and that gives him a shock, and that gives you a moment to get away or do something. Use your pen, and
right.
you can hurt someone. You can hurt someone fatally with a pen. I like to wear big rings, Sifu. I always wear
To
big
leave your
rings
mark.
because I know I'm going to leave a mark. So I have my weapon. But awareness, once again, the scenario that you talked about with the women. Let's say a lady leaves her car on and her child, like you said, is in the car. She wasn't aware of what she's doing. She wasn't present in the moment. You have to be present in the moment all the time. And when for these 45-minute sessions that you go to Sifu for, it's going to teach you. It's like a type of a concentration that you learn. You are going to start to have longer periods that you are present in the moment and aware. It all comes with that practice. So make sure you guys go to Sifu Studio. I've been there. I've trained with him. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And it would be a beautiful and uplifting and empowering program for you. So people really need to
Thank you.
sign up. I'm cheering you on, Sifu.
Oh, you're the best. You're the best. Thank you so much. But let's also talk about awareness in business, right? So
Yes.
being aware of several things. One is if you have a brick and mortar location,
Mm-hmm.
being awareness of
Yeah.
how other people see it. When somebody comes in for the first time, they're either going to
Yeah.
go, wow, this place is nice. This place is beautiful. It's kept clean.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're going to go,
Yeah.
oh, look, cobwebs in the corner. Oh, look at that. That's dirty. Oh, this is dirty. Oh, I don't want. And then if they go to your bathrooms and your bathrooms are dirty, they're going to go, ugh, I don't want to be
Oh.
here. Because if they can't take care of their bathrooms, how are they going to take care of the other things? Especially if you're running a
Mm-hmm.
restaurant, that should be the cleanest
Oh.
room. Your
Yeah.
kitchen in the restaurant should be the cleanest in any restaurant. And I've gone to restaurants where I've walked out because walking into the
I would
foyer,
too.
the opening, I see dirt, I see garbage, I
Yeah.
see stuff like that. I was like, you know what? I don't think I want to
Mm-mm.
eat here. There was a restaurant, it was a steakhouse.
Yeah.
And for some reason, one of their biggest things was they had peanuts. And they had peanuts in big barrels,
Oh.
and people would take handfuls and then they'd throw the shells on the floor. And I'm like,
Oh.
do I want to
Mm-mm.
eat here? What else is on the floor besides the shells? So are they throwing the shells on the floor to disguise the fact that they haven't cleaned? When was the last time
Yeah.
this floor was cleaned? And the
Oh.
people, the waiters and the waitresses are stepping on that dirt. They're going to go into the kitchen. They're going to bring the dirt with
Oh
them
no.
into the kitchen,
Oh.
and then they're going to serve my food. But the place was packed. The place was packed. And I said,
Oh.
wow, this is
Oh.
amazing. But
Yeah.
I didn't stay and I never went back because
I would
I
also leave.
am being aware of
Mm-hmm.
me, right? And I know it was a
Yeah.
fad and it was a thing and but for me, is it clean? So when
Mm.
we talk about awareness do
Yeah.
we focus on what people, when they come in, what's their perception? When you came to my
Mhm.
martial arts school, you didn't know what to expect. Am I right?
I did not. I went all the way from New Jersey to New York. I'd never been at your location before. I really did not have any idea what it was going to look like. But I was
Did you
pleasantly surprised.
did
It
you think it
was,
was going to be like
I
any
walked,
other martial arts school you've been to?
I thought it would look similar because I've been in a few. I love when I travel, to train in different dojos, and I thought it would be similar in a way. It was not. It was definitely not similar. It was beautiful. The mural that you had on the wall that you painted. When you come in, it's so homely. There is a rest area where the parents can sit, and everything just the way that it was set up. I love the fact that you had these different rooms. Like I know the UFC trains there for MMA. They had their separate space, and then you have that beautiful open piece where we did the forms and we worked with the weapons, the bow, the staff, and then you went at great lengths to make it cozy. So when you walk in, you don't feel like a stranger. You can buy your beverage there. So if you're thirsty, you're good. Your parents can sit and wait for you. The kids have all these beautiful spaces where they put their items in. And the bathrooms, seeing as we talked about bathrooms, I changed into my gi in the bathroom, and the bathrooms were very clean, which is delightful, especially when you've been traveling and you want to put on your gi and keep it clean. So that was
Hmm.
I was very happy to note that. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And the reason that my place is like that is because I'm the customer. That's how I see
Mm,
my business. I have to see it through
yeah.
my my employees' eyes and my clients' eyes. So one
Yes.
of the things that I
Yeah.
will always ask somebody who comes in, I'm like, what do you see and what don't you like? Point out the things you
Mm-hmm.
don't like and then tell me why.
Yeah.
And so that I'm
Mm-hmm. Very.
constantly changing. I'm changing.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I do is I have for my customers, there's free coffee. There's free coffee and tea.
Yes.
And not
Yes.
only that, but when they start pouring coffee, I go, would you like some cream with that? Would you like? So
Mm-hmm.
one of the things for us, it's that customer service is foremost because guess who's my boss? Each one of my customers,
Mm-hmm.
whether they're 4 years old or they're 94 years old, they're both my
Opinion
customers.
man. Yeah.
And I treat them both equally, right? I talk
Yes.
to them differently because you can't talk the same way that you do to a 56-year-old as a 4-year-old or a 6-year-old. There's a different way
Yeah.
of communicating. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the other thing that we have to consider is the awareness of how you communicate with your customers.
Mm-hmm.
What's the
Yeah.
language you're using? What's the 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 message you're giving? Because
Table.
if
Mm-hmm.
if I'm running a car wash, what's the
Yeah.
message I want to give my customers? What happens is
Mm-hmm.
we guarantee a clean wash, but what if your car's not clean when it comes out of the wash? Then we're going to let it run again and
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to charge you. So it's that you're standing behind your product,
Extra.
right? If
Mm-hmm.
I'm
And
selling a
confident.
gadget, if I'm selling
Mm-hmm.
something, it's if it
Yeah.
doesn't work, we'll replace it absolutely free, no questions asked. Now, if you go, well, you've had it for if you've had it for a year, then yeah, I'm not giving you money back. Hello. But if you had it, like if you took it home and it didn't work and you tried and you called me right away, yeah, you know what? No worries. Here's a new one. Just give me the other one back. Here's a new one. Let me exchange that for you, right? If you want your money back, I've had
Yes.
people who came to me. They signed up for my program, and then they turned around and they said, "Hey, you know what? We went home and we don't we don't want to do it." I'm like, "Okay, no problem. Do you want to
Yeah.
come back and bring your uniform back, and I'll give you your money back?" Sure, no problem.
Yes.
Good luck.
Okay.
Best of you. We're here if you ever want to come back. But I've
Yes.
done that with
Yeah.
my wood shop. What somebody orders a product from me. Now, once they order it, it's too late to go back. right? Because
Yes.
first they've seen the drawings. I did drawings for them. I don't charge them for the drawings. So they got the drawings. They got all the different things. And this is general business. If you do your due diligence, and if you have an
Yes.
approval method and they approve it,
Mm-hmm.
and you go into
Mm.
production,
Done deal.
at that point,
Mm-hmm.
you're already
Yeah.
committed to it. Now, if you bring it
Mm-hmm.
and it's not what they wanted, but they signed off on it and they have the image of exact and it's identical to the image, then they can't take it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they go, well, we
Yes.
changed our mind. That's okay. You change your mind, no problem. But
Yeah.
you're still paying for this product because we had to produce it
You
for you
absolutely.
because it's one of a
Mm-hmm.
kind, right? It fits your
Yeah.
specifications. But if it's a
Mm-hmm.
general
Mm-hmm.
thing, if I'm selling you this mug and you don't like the mug
Mm-hmm.
because you want it in blue or you wanted it in red, that's fine, no
Pink.
problem. Let me exchange that for you, right?
Mm-hmm. I love
So
that. I agree. I agree, Seafood. Definitely, communicating with people on their level is detrimental. It
mhm,
all really comes back to communicating. And lots of people are good communicators. They can communicate, but they don't communicate effectively. And when they don't communicate effectively, then there are misunderstandings. So I always tell people a part of our personal and professional development is to communicate, well, to cultivate that, to learn how to communicate with people on different levels, then learn how to communicate effectively. Is that what you are saying? Conveying the message that you meant for it to have. And when
right.
you communicate effectively, then you can connect. And when you've connected with someone, then I mean, it's open road, it's smooth sailing from there. So I love the process that you have in place. And I agree with you. If they've signed off on a product, they've seen the plans, it's their vision, they're happy with it, and you make it and it's identical, there's no turning back. And I think we live in a culture and in a society where people often want to do that. They want to go the whole route, and they want to go the whole mile, but halfway through they start to doubt. That's something that happens when we don't communicate effectively. For instance, the people, whoever signed off on your product, maybe they didn't communicate effectively with each other, but you
Mhm,
communicated effectively with them. And then that's a lesson for them to learn. They signed off on the product, they were happy with the plans, and that's the product that they got. And that there's a lesson in everything. But to communicate with people on their level is very, very important. I think the world would not be in shambles, and I think a lot of misunderstandings would be, smoothed out if we all learned how to communicate effectively. And how do you start doing that? By
mm.
listening. You
Oh
are
yeah,
listening what
listen,
someone is saying and you really take in, then you know exactly what to answer. So listening is very important. It's a superpower. Yeah,
I like that. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
one of the things that I've learned along the way and you talk about communication, and I love that because everything is communication, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, and you said it, people don't communicate well. And one of
Mm-hmm.
the things that, as a public speaker yourself and myself, we can give a
Yes.
speech to a whole 500 people, and every one of
Yeah.
them may have a different message that they received. So
True.
we have to be clear.
That's it.
And when we're in front of a person,
Mm-hmm.
if we're negotiating into a contract or a deal or a commitment or anything like that, is even if you're going on a date, right? You have to say,
Mm-hmm.
would you like to go to Italian tonight? And they go, yes. And then you go,
Yeah.
what what kind of food did you want to eat? Italian. Oh, okay. So we're on the
Mm.
same page. Which restaurant
Good.
did you want to go to? Right? Because you may go to this particular restaurant that you like, but maybe they thought you meant a different restaurant. So now before you
That's
start
it.
driving, you're going to go, we're going to so and so's restaurant, or we're going to go here on the corner of whatever,
Clarity.
right? So that
Mm-hmm.
communication has to be clear, and you have to ask for clarity when you communicate, because we can assume, and you know what happens when we assume, right? We want to make sure, we want clarity when we communicate, so we're both on the same page. We're reading from the same book, not just the same page. You could be on page 38, but if you're both reading from a different book, that doesn't help either, right? So the message has to be entirely clear to both parties, right?
Concise. I agree. And especially when I was a pastor, Sifu, you would not believe how many times there were long counseling sessions over something that was just a little misunderstanding. And when everybody, I always let the one party speak their mind so the other party listens, and then vice versa. And then sometimes people realize, my goodness, we made a mountain out of something that was so small because it was just one misunderstanding. So I agree with you. Let's read the same book, guys, and be on the same page, not different books, because you want to build relationships. You don't want to break them down. People are so precious. And, the people that we meet, they are a part of our lives, and we should cherish that. So let's get to a place where we listen first and then respond. And always, like Sifu said, confirm. Be clear, be concise, and confirm. We are both public speakers, Sifu, and as well as I do, that when we go onto stage, we command that room, we hold that space, we have that message to deliver, but we do it in a manner that is communicatable to everybody in the room. They can understand it from their framework. And there's a lot of components that we can go into, but it starts with us being open and clear. And, just with your introduction, if you have a good introduction, whether it's a statement or whether it's a question, that introduction is going to determine if they are going to listen to you for the rest of your speech. So always be clear and concise from the beginning with any communication.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. Juanita, you and I can definitely go on and on and on and on, because we love business, right? We love business. There's so many. Think of the body, right? Think of the body. How many veins we have in our body, right? Think of the stars. Think of the sand. How many pieces, tiny little sand is at a beach, right? Every granule, right? Think of a handful of salt. It's not, the whole thing is not salt. It's each individual granule creates that whole thing. So that's what business is, right? We need to understand that business is multifaceted. Right?
Yeah, I love that. Multifaceted, and so are people. We are layered. So sometimes you're going to have to communicate the same thing a few times with a certain person. And sometimes you communicate it and the other person will understand it easily. I take, for instance, in South Africa, we have our home language, our dialect is Afrikaans. And, even the people that live in the Western Cape and the people that live in Gauteng, they all speak Afrikaans, but they have different words for different things. Now, I can't explain it in Afrikaans here, but for instance, they have different names for a trash can. So when I met some people from Cape Town and, they were talking about this iridrom. To me, that's drums, because I came from Gauteng, but to them, it's a trash can. So lots of their sentences, I was like, what does the drums have to do with the scenario? But they were talking about a trash can. So it's all about crossing that bridge and being consistent about it. Yeah.
Interpreting the meaning behind it, I think, is what helps also, right? What's the meaning behind what you're saying?
Cut through the layer. Yeah, absolutely, Sifu.
Juanita, this has been so much fun. Thank you for being my great co-host. And I know that we have great other shows coming up. And listen, if we don't have a guest, we may skip that day, but we will be back. And I'm sorry that we missed the gentleman who was going to join us today, but guess what? He missed us is the reality, right?
He did. He missed out. Absolutely. Sifu, thank you. It's been an honor. Have a beautiful weekend.
Okay, you too. Make it great.
Thank you.